Welcome to JoshPod, where we give you fun, entertaining news in a boring political world. My name is Josh Smongi, your host. And let's swing right into today's topic, which is movie news. So today in movie news, we have an unfortunate announcement for all you Marvel Cinematic Universe fans out there, aka the MCU, aka who cares, because superheroes are over, because once Endgame happened, who really cares about the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Anyway, we got some important announcements for you guys who are interested in, the future of the MCU. It turns out that everyone's favorite web-slinging superhero Spider-Man will not be returning to the MCU. More specifically, the partnership between Sony and Marvel is no longer a thing. A lot of Marvel fans are upset, and you probably are too. Like, I thought Marvel owned Spider-Man, so why does it matter that Sony is involved? Well, let me tell you about this partnership, and it all started in the year of our Lord, 1999. So yes, it all started in the year of our Lord, 1999, when Sony purchased the movie rights to Spider-Man from Marvel Comics. In 2002, Sony made the hit film Spider-Man, starring Tobey Maguire and James Franco, and we all know how that went.
Hey! Stop the blast! Shazam! Go! Go! Go, Web, go!
A few years go by, and they come out with Spider-Man 2, starring Doc Ock, and then Spider-Man 3 with Venom, New Goblin, and Sandman. 3 bad guys for the third movie. See what they did there? 3! Unfortunately, they ran into like a writer's slump, and they couldn't think of any new ideas, so they're like, hey, let's reboot it with this guy. So with What's-His-Face starring in the new Spider-Man role, they made 2 new Spider-Man movies, calling them The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay? And Sony made these movies in 2012 and 2014, which is at the same time where Marvel was just starting out, the MCU rather, and they made Avengers 1 in 2012 and then soon to be Avengers 2 in 2015. After seeing the success of Avengers and the growing MCU, people started wanting to see Spider-Man in the MCU. But Marvel legally couldn't have Spider-Man be in the MCU because of the movie rights which they had sold to Sony.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
So in 2015, Kevin Feige and Sony got together and made a group of remarkable people called the Partners. See what I did there? I thought that was clever. Yes, they teamed up to give the audience exactly what they wanted. A third reimagining of Spider-Man. There's a lot of 3s in this episode. 3! A third reimagining of Spider-Man, but this time Spider-Man will be seen fighting alongside Iron Man and Captain America, and Captain Marvel, and Hulk, and Black. So here's what this Sony-Marvel partnership actually included. So Sony is letting Marvel use Spider-Man in the MCU for a total of 5 movies. Those 5 movies were Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and then Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, Sony can still use the Spider-Man characters, they just can't, be involved with the MCU. That's why they're able to make movies like Venom and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. In exchange for Spider-Man, Marvel would produce the movies for Sony with the help of Kevin Feige, and also they would let the Sony movies contain other MCU characters such as Iron Man and Nick Fury. Regarding the revenue for these movies, Marvel got all the merchandise revenue. So all the t-shirts, all the toys and stuff like that, all that money went to Marvel. Now, but then for the actual movies themselves, more specifically Homecoming and Far From Home, Sony got that money, okay? So those are the main details of the partnership between Sony and Marvel, and everything was looking great until Far From Home came out. So when Far From Home was released, the partnership between Sony and Marvel needed to be renewed because they had made 5 movies and Sony wanted to make 2 more. So they just needed to renew their partnership and everything would just go back to how things were. Except for Marvel wanted a 50-50 revenue split for the 2 new movies, and they wouldn't let Kevin Feige produce any of those 2 movies. So pretty much Marvel wanted more money without giving anything into it, And it's bad when Stan Lee's daughter sides with Sony on this. So, way to go, Disney and Marvel. Idiots. So thus the partnership between Sony and Marvel ended. Sony still plans on making these 2 new Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. They just won't, be produced or have anything to do with the MCU. And the nice thing about this is they don't have to reboot Spider-Man for the 4th time, so yay. 3! And speaking of Tom Holland, he opened up recently about this change of management, shall we say, and he stated this, quote, "Basically, we've made 5 great movies. It's been 5 amazing years. I've had the time of my life. Who knows what the future holds? But all I know is that I'm going to continue playing Spider-Man and having the time of my life. It's going to be so fun however we choose to do it. The future of Spider-Man will be different, but it'll be equally as awesome and amazing, and we'll find new ways to make it even cooler. So it sounds like he'll enjoy continuing to be Spider-Man, even though he's probably not getting as big of a paycheck from Marvel, but hey, I'm sure he'll have a fun time and doesn't feel bitterness toward Marvel in any way. So what do you guys think? Are you with Sony or Marvel on this whole situation? Do you think Sony will, continue making good Spider-Man movies? Or did Marvel just make the biggest mistake ever? Comment down below. I frankly don't really care about the MCU or anything. I just find this whole story interesting. So if I do find more details on it, I'll be sure to post it here on the JoshPod. And speaking of which, thanks for watching the JoshPod. If you like this episode, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you get notified on YouTube whenever we post videos on this channel. If you're an audio listener, you can actually subscribe to us and listen just to the audio version of this through Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, and SoundCloud. And don't forget to rate us as well. We're asking for only 4 stars, because 5 stars is too perfect. We know we're not perfect. 4 stars, please. I could say 3 stars since the whole episode was around 3, but no, let's do 4, because we're not that bad. I mean, look at me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time here on the JoshPod.